is the CEO right? The CEO in London, is he right? Is this a historic problem, or do you think it's a recurring problem?
Well, what we know is that Uber has taken many steps since they first had their license suspended 2 years ago. However, the Guardian newspaper was reporting today that the most recent offence was found only just 3 weeks ago, and it seems as though Transport for London hadn't been fully aware of these fraudulent drivers who have been driving unlicensed and uninsured, and that's a safety issue, and that's on top of all of the other safety issues that Uber's had about women and people of colour feeling discriminated against or even threatened, etc. So it's just a big headache for Uber.
They're clearly going to appeal. They've said that today. Is there anything they can do to reassure Transport for London?
Well, it's a great question. So they're already taking a number of steps. So they said that they're going to increase driver safety. They're installing a discrimination button and an access to the emergency services within the car. But the one that's most controversial and really game-changing, not just for Uber and Transport, but would be a test case for workers across the United Kingdom and potentially even globally, is they have said that they plan to introduce facial recognition technology for their drivers.
How does that work?
Well, it would be, I guess, the way that you could look at your iPhone and link it to your face, right? So you do sort of one-to-one.
So you get in the car, you look at your phone, and an Uber says, yeah, tick, you're the right driver.
Exactly, except that that's a privacy, civil liberties, and human rights issue for the drivers, who you could argue have no choice because they're a bit of a captive audience on this technology. They're going to work, so they're basically going to be told, you either submit to this highly invasive technology that's controversial, or you don't work for us.
So, as well as being a flag bearer for the gig economy, it sounds like what you're describing is they could be this sort of spearhead of technology in another way that would sort of work around this problem. But in the short term, more immediately, how does this benefit its rivals?
Well, we don't know what the safety record is in comparison with black cabs and private cars that are licensed, and then the other rivals that are like Bolt and Captain. So we would want to do a sort of, a point-by-point comparison of safety and violations and find out what is it about Uber that's unique here, and then how do we fix it?
It's a really interesting debate, isn't it? I mean, just very quickly, just before we finish, Bolt and Ola, which are apps that my colleagues have been sharing me in the office today, I mean, they would have the same issues, wouldn't they? They'd have the same problems, presumably.
Well, there's also the question of scale. I think what's really interesting here is we're talking about 14,000 fraudulent rides in the past 2 years involving only 43 drivers. So is it a problem for Uber because Uber is so much bigger than these other companies, or is it that there are, sort of things lurking under the rock with the other car companies, taxi companies that we just haven't uncovered yet?
Okay, Stephanie, thank you very much.